All right, we are going to play some Centipede on the Atari. We're going to compare all the different versions. We're going to start here with 2600, which I am not good at, but we're going to give it a shot. And the first thing that you'll probably notice is probably maybe parts of the Centipede appear to be disappearing on your screen. That's actually just a circumstance of recording on my emulator. So it uses the phosphoric effect to handle, multiple sprites on a single line. And it gets that little flicker effect. So you either might be seeing flicker or you might actually be seeing things disappearing from time to time. Anyway, this is one of the Centipede versions that I think a lot of people are familiar with if you're a fan of the Atari. This one was pretty popular. It was one that, terrible. One that I didn't play very often just because I didn't have an Atari 2600. I had access to one, but didn't actually own one. This one was pretty popular, and you can see that the sprites are pretty plain and basic to account for some of the memory limitations of the machine. As far as the controls are concerned, it's pretty much what you'd expect. It's funny because my son, who is 6 years old, has never played Centipede and played this one for the very first time. It was pretty darn good. Me, on the other hand, not so much. When it gets down to just the one Centipede, I just cannot get that last guy, and it ends up being my undoing. They start to throw in these little miscellaneous ones, and then stuff like that happens. So that's one of the things that, as we go through and do these compares, we're going to look at the 5200, we're going to look at the 7800 as well. As I go through and do these compares on this game, I am just not good at the console versions. I was great at the Atari 8-bit home computer version, but not so much at the console versions. But this is really just to give you an idea of what they look like. And fortunately, I've put myself out of my misery here, and we can move on and take a look at the next one. Let's do that. All right, this is the Atari 5200, and the first thing you'll notice is that the graphics look pretty different, and I really like the animation here of the Centipede. It's kind of cool looking. It's really smooth, and they've got all the little body parts moving. Just the movement of the Centipede, terrible. This is how I'm going to play, by the way. This is how I play this game. But the movement of the Centipede is really nice and smooth. It's a really different feeling game. Now, the thing that I don't like about it, that I notice right away when I play this one, is that it is super sensitive to the joystick controls. I mean, like, I move over to the left like that, and I just fly right over to all the way across the other screen. And trying to get that spider was tough. Just the fact that I got it, I feel kind of lucky that I was actually able to get it. Now, that's more what I was expecting right there, is that move. That death move right there. Look at this. When it starts out slow, it recognizes that you're bad or something, and it starts out slow. And just the very slow movement in the animation, so smooth. It's a really well done version. It's just the controls. I can't get a handle on these controls. And it's funny because it makes me think that the game was actually meant to be played with a trackball or something. And I know the guys over at the Atari 5200 Super Podcast, Willie RK, Captain Bob, I bet you that they are probably looking at this and thinking, well, if he had the trackball on the Atari 5200 and he was playing on normal hardware, instead of emulating, he'd probably be a lot better. And they might be right. Well, but then again, they might not be. I mean, look at that. That's how I play this game. So, let's go ahead now and take a look at the one that I'm used to, which is the Atari 8-bit version. Alright, now see, I look at this game and I feel home. I'm ready to start playing right away. I haven't played this game in a long time, but I used to play it a lot when I was younger. And, it's wildly different than the 5200. Not wildly different, that's probably an exaggeration, but it's definitely different. And that's the thing, is that I'm used to seeing games on the Atari 5200 that are identical to the games that I used to play on the Atari 8-bit home computer, and that's not the case here. This one looks a little bit different. In fact, it's a little bit more plain on the visuals. The sound, I think, is similar, but the graphics and the playing field, I think, all look totally different. Which is not what I would expect on the Atari 5200 versus the Atari 8-bit. You see a lot of sort of shared look and feel and shared gameplay between these two systems, because the hardware, from what I understand, was pretty close to identical between the 5200 console and the 8-bit home computer. But the two games here were obviously developed independently of one another and probably at separate times. And this is the one that I'm very used to. I feel like it's very responsive to the joystick commands. I feel like I'm a lot more in control. And just because I've played it a lot more than the other ones, well, I'm just a lot better. I can clear the field here and take care of some mushrooms, get things out of my way, and just play the way I expect to play. But I'm going to stop it here just because I can probably go on for quite a while on this one just because I'm kind of used to it. So I'll stop it here, and we'll go ahead and conclude by taking a look at the Atari 7800 and check out the differences on that one. Yeah, and of course right away you see that the opening screen even has a little bit of flair that you don't see in the other versions. So this one's certainly going to look and feel probably a little bit different. And right away I can tell you that it's responding well to joystick. I don't feel like I'm out of control like I did on the 5200, but man, I mean, right away you also sort of feel as though the game is a little bit more advanced. It definitely feels faster at the start. There we go. But the sound effects are pretty close to the same. They're certainly different. Obviously the visuals are different. You know, you get a lot more detail in the mushrooms than you did in the previous one that I just showed you on the Atari 8-bit. But of course you got a little bit more detail in the 5200 as well. Sound effects are pretty close, but obviously a little bit different. So this one was done in 1984. Of course the other ones were, I think, in 81 and 82. So we're really talking about a span here of just a couple of years. And you see that all of these versions look significantly different from one another, and that's just because of the differences in the hardware and probably the fact that different individuals or different teams develop these games. Now, you'll eventually see here, especially as this crazy manic spider comes in, that I play about as effectively. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for my inevitable death. I play about as effectively on this one as I do on the other ones. It definitely seems to get a lot more difficult early on in the game. I mean, like, these guys are coming at me. I mean, and it's funny because when I play these console versions of Centipede, I just, like, I sweat like that. Like, I'm nervous, you know, like, I do stuff like that. Overall, though, it's a terrific game, just one that I've never really been good at. But here's a pretty solid comparison between all of the Atari versions, just to give you a feel of what that's about. So my death here is almost about to happen. I definitely feel it. Look at that. See, maybe if I can get under these guys here, because they're going to kamikaze. Oh, like, I was trying to get smart. I should have known better. But that's going to bring this to a close. I really thank you for watching this video. This gives you a good sense of what Centipede is like on the various Atari consoles, and I do appreciate you taking a look at that with me. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next video.